Minutemen. Today we are talking about time. We are focusing on our chronological skills, which is part of our SOL 1 of our course. So today we're going to be looking at the concepts of BC, AD, BCE, and CE, as well as centuries. So why is it important to kind of know what these dates are? Because we are covering prehistory up to 1500 AD. And in doing so, that means that we're going to be looking at time up to 0 and then 0 up forward. So we have to be understanding the difference between BC and AD. And this is going to be a major part of our course because we'll be using these terms a lot. So these help us to put events in chronological order to understand when things happen. Now the term BCE is the same as BC and AD is the same as CE, and you're going to see that as we look at both of these terms here. So what is the difference? So BC and AD, so first of all, BC stands for before Christ, and AD stands for Anno Domini. It does not stand for after death. Here's why. Jesus was born approximately 0 BC. If we say that AD stands for after death, Jesus lives for 33 years, and that would mean that from 0 to 33, we wouldn't have anything, and so it can't mean after death. BC and AD are centered around Christ's birth, and AD is Latin, and it's Anno Domini, which means in the year of our Lord. So theoretically, when you are reading today's date, 2020, it should be AD 2020, in the year of our Lord 2020. Now, because this timeline is based around Jesus Christ, there were people who were like, well, maybe not everybody's a Christian. Maybe we should consider using another timeline that's a little more, say, politically correct. So what they started using was BCE and CE. So when you go to college, and even sometimes in the textbooks, you'll see BC/BCE, AD/CE. Both of them are really still commonly used. I remember the first time I learned about it, they're like, oh, everybody's going to switch over to BCE and CE. But it hasn't really happened. So BCE stands for before the Common Era, and CE stands for the Common Era. And the division is still at Christ's birth, but it's just to kind of make it less religious. So the timeline is secular, and secular is a very important vocabulary word. Secular means not religious, not based on religion. And we are currently living in the Common Era, or in the years labeled AD, in the year of our Lord. So here's how the rules basically work. 0 kind of doesn't really exist. Like we count down to that, and it's like 1 BC, and then we become 1 AD. And so BC, CE, and BC, the higher the number is, the earlier it is. So for example, if we're talking about 1000 BC, that happened after 5000 BC. 500 happens after that. So if I'm thinking about this on a timeline, it would be 1000, 500, 100 BC, going up to 100 AD, 500 AD, 1000 AD, all the way up to 2000 AD, all the way up to 2020. So the higher the number, once we're working in AD, we're going up. And the versus, the more current it is, the higher the number it is. Versus in BC, the older the number is, the higher the number is, the older it is. Okay? So how do we determine age? If both the events take the number, you just subtract and you can figure out how many years you're looking at. Okay, and it's a pretty simple kind of math thing, which is not so important for what we're doing. Now, I want you to know in history classes, there's kind of two philosophies. I remember my 2 world history teachers in college. One of them, she was of the opinion that as long as you knew the general idea, like what happened in what century, who came before, after. And then I had another professor who wanted us to know specific dates. I do believe there are specific dates that you should know. As a Virginian, as an American, I believe you should know 1607 when Jamestown was founded. I believe you should know 1861 to 1865, the American Civil War. I believe you should know the dates of World War I, World War II. However, when we're looking at our class for this year, there are very few dates that I will actually ask you to memorize. And what's more important to me is that you understand that Julius Caesar and Cleopatra were contemporaries of each other. That is what is a more important thing to me. All right, so here's my question for you today. What year is it? Is it 2020? Is it 1442? Or is it 5780? Well, here's the thing. All three of these are correct. So 2020, that is the calendar that we use, the Gregorian calendar, and it is 2020. Okay? 1442. So when I was living in Morocco, we got off the Islamic New Year every year. But the Islamic New Year is completely dependent upon the lunar calendar. And the Islamic New Year is based on Muhammad's journey to Yathrib, which would become Medina, so when he left Mecca. And so that is the dates for 1442. So in the Muslim calendar, which is based on the moon, the lunar calendar, it is the year 1442. For Jews, it's the year 5780, and they base their calendar. It's a very similar calendar to ours, but it's, I believe, 360 days versus 364 and a half. And 365 and a half, and they base there since Abraham's journey out of Ur. So what century is it? This is going to be our activity today, so this is the part where we really want to kind of focus. So here's our dividing line between 1 BC, 1 AD, or if you prefer BCE and CE. So when we're thinking about centuries, so it is the year 2020, but we're living in the 21st century. So to figure this out, you want to think about what number is in the 100ths place, add 1, and that's going to tell you what century you're in. So if I'm living in 1545, 15 is in the 100ths place, I add 1, and I live in the 16th century. Okay? To do this the other way, okay, the 4th century, subtract 1, add 2 zeros, and that tells you what years I'm in. So 4 minus 1 is 3, add 2 zeros, I'm living in the 300ths. Okay? So one more time. If I'm living in 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? So 1492, what century is that? What's in the 100ths place? 14, add 1, it was in the 15th century. Okay? I can do the same thing for BC. If it's the 2nd century, okay, we're in the kind of time periods that work a little different when we're looking at counting down, okay? All right. So here's the rules, just as kind of a little remember. If you're trying to keep track of the dates, when you see the 14th century, you're thinking the 1300s. When you see the 6th century, you're thinking the 500s. So when you're looking at your timeline for here before, remember, so like from 400 to 300, this is still the 300s, right? So that's why it's the 4th century. This is still the 200s, because you got to think about time counts up when we're doing BC. It goes up towards the right. So you just got to remember it's going to be reversed when you're doing your BC and AD. It's a little confusing. This is why timelines is such an important skill for us. So centuries count down to 0 and then up from there to AD. So we're going down to, technically down to 1 BC, right? And then up to, from 1 AD up. So if you just subtract the 1 from the century, add your 2 zeros, and that's going to give you the exact years that you're in. So a couple of last thoughts. I just think this is an important term for us to remember, the word circa, because you will hear me use it. Because especially as we're talking about early history, we don't know the exact date often. So we say circa 1330. So around 1330, give or take, a couple of years. Versus your birth is exact date. But sometimes when we're talking about when people do things, then we have to use the roundabout. If you see C period as an abbreviation, that means century. That stands for century. All right, so you're going to do some practice now with your century. So if you want to go back and review the sheet again, I'll just remind you, if you're in the century, if it says 4th century, subtract 1, you're in the 300s, whether it's BC or AD. If you're in the 1700s, take what's in the 100th time and place slot. 17, add 1, you're in the 18th century. If I'm in the 400s, 4 plus 1, I'm in the 5th century. If It's as simple as that, and that's what you're going to be looking at. Okay?